All right, it looks like we are live. Hello, everyone. I am Alexi. I'll be the keeper for the game we are playing. This game has been organized through the Gauntlet community, so definitely check out gauntlet-rpg.com to learn more. The game we're playing is Empire City Apocalypse Keys Unsleeping Metropolis, and this is session 1 of 4. I'm super happy to be running this. Apocalypse Keys is an amazing game created by Jamila Najani of Sword Queen Games. And Empire City is a shared setting for Gauntlet Games, which is an urban fantasy version of New York City. So the basics of Apocalypse Keys is you are monsters who work for the organization Division, fighting back other monsters and helping to cancel the apocalypse. So it's very much inspired by media like Hellboy, in particular, the Guillermo del Toro Hellboy movies. Let's meet our wonderful group of players, and then we'll get to know the monsters that they are playing and learn a little bit about what the darkness demands of them and why they are trying to cancel the apocalypse, at least at present. Let's see. Steven, will you introduce yourself first? We'll do players first and then go background for characters.
Yeah, hey there. I'm Steven, he, him. Been here on the Gauntlet for a couple years now. Don't bother looking for me elsewhere, I guess. You won't find me. Have a good day.
Mysterious. Wonderful. Good to be playing with you, Steven. Next up, Ferret. Tell us just a little about yourself.
Hello, I am Ferret. I use any pronoun instead of respect. I have been on the Gauntlet for a few years and have not played Apocalypse Keys yet, but am very much looking forward to trying it.
Excellent. Glad to have you, Ferret. Let's see. Greg, I believe you are next.
Yes, I'm Greg. I use he, him pronouns. I've been playing on the Gauntlet for a while. I've played with many of the lovely people here. I was super excited to get in a game of Apocalypse Keys because I've heard such great things. And then I actually got to reading it last week, and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. This is my jam. I'm so excited.
Excellent.
You can find me online. I'm Group Soliloquy. Most everywhere there is something to be something. So,
absolutely. Good to be playing with you, Greg. Last but not least, Jesse, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, I am Jesse. I use he, him pronouns. I'm not very interesting, but I like to play games. So let's play a game.
Let's do it. I'm gonna jump on back and have Steven start to tell us about his character. So I'll add this to the stream, so as we go along, we can see some of the characters have art already picked out. But Steven, tell us about the Summoned.
Yes, I'm playing Newt Nightbreath, a stolen as a child by the fae, and remade as they plan to one day remake this world into something more entertaining and palatable to them. But I was summoned forth. I think my first love was among the fae, but when I was summoned, I was unable. I tried to drag my love along with me, but they were ensorcered by the fae, and I left them there. Thus, I think I still have along my face a tattoo that signifies the mark of my love who I betrayed.
Nice.
I have in my chest a seeping wound of darkness from which the fae magic vents into this world. It is a weapon that I'll never use, and my eyes are of the coldest silver. The prophecy that haunts me is that when I fall in love for the last time, an ancient door of power will open in my heart and destroy the world.
That's a pretty terrible prophecy to be laboring under.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I took, of course, because of that, everything for you, my love. That when I declare my love for people, when I'm about to mark my 5th box of ruin, I can declare my love for someone for the first time. And and we'll see how that goes.
Oh wow. Okay. So does Newt think that it's in some ways his like duty to keep falling in love to like forestall this this particular apocalypse?
Yes.
Cool. Good to know. Uh, we heard a little about your origin. What does the darkness demand of you?
It demands that, I think actually much like Untitled, to fall in love with a harbinger of the apocalypse and to push away those I need most.
Nice. So it's kind of drawing you towards the harbingers and away from folks who might be more stabilizing influences.
Yes.
Anything else we should definitely know about Newt Nightbreath?
I think that while I was once human, I'm fairly transformed by my time in the Fae. I sort of have elfin pointed ears, a bit of a hunch to my, a kind of a bit of a monstrous hunch to my walk. And my skin is a kind of light gray.
Nice. Very good. And let's meet our next monster. Ferret, will you tell us about the Surge?
Yes. Yawachika Opessa is the Surge. On the best days, he's mostly himself, just someone who is raised to believe in a different power that now embodies the nemesis of said higher power. On the worst days, he's a walking emotional wreck, a conduit for cosmic energies that no mortal should touch, that are barely constrained by tattoos of various eldritch importance that surge and bloat on him in John Carpenter-esque styles. He was originally a cultist, is the best term for a being against a eldritch harbinger that we may discover in play, that he was sacrificed to by the person he trusted the most, and came back with just a small sliver of their power coursing through his body as a representative for them on Earth, which wasn't the worst thing, since he has some self-control and semblance of humanity. Look-wise are the Eldritch Tattoos that respond to his emotions, which change, boil, toil, and trouble upon his body. An ever-burning cigarette, which is more just a pipe that seems to fill with whatever material he would like to smoke the most at the moment, and smells aromatically of potpourri. And he has a broken holy symbol of the god he no longer believes in that he pieces together during times of distress to remind himself of what he lost.
Wow. So here's the thing I have to ask about that origin. Is him coming back with a fragment of the dark power's power? Is that sacrifice going horribly wrong or horribly right? Like, from the perspective of the person who sacrificed him, is this a welcome development or not?
Oh no, she was supposed to be their vessel. He was just supposed to be the conduit, which bad translation apparently.
I see. So she's still out there. It was a mother figure, yes, you mentioned, who sacrificed him and wanted to gain power thereby.
Yeah. For a fun wordplay, a mother superior figure.
Cool. That's an interesting NPC to have out there in the wind. What does the darkness demand of you, Yawachika?
I am to find the most powerful harbinger of the apocalypse, who I currently think is the living dead goddess that empowers me. Eldritch horror out in the ether, whatever it wants to be, and to destroy everything around me for the slightest trespass, as I am greater than all these insects now, and they should quail before me and what I represent.
That's very good. So that's what the darkness demands of you. Anything else we should definitely know about Yawachika?
Oh, he does come with a pet with one of the starting moves, which I want you to have as much fun as you want. It is the My Little Monster. His is a symbiotic, like I guess like mind being, parasite, whatever I think. But it'll generally possess one of the tattoos and rend itself from his frame if it needs to interact with the world at large.
Okay, so like if there were a tattoo of, say, a bird, this being like possess the tattoo and then like fly off his skin as like a little ink bird in the air,
or like slither off as a snake, skitter off as a spider, float off as a flaming skull with a snake going through it and a dagger.
Does it have a name?
I just know it as the symbiote. It doesn't deserve a name.
The symbiote doesn't deserve a name. Cool. Let's meet our next monster. Greg, I think you're up next. Tell us about Untitled.
Yeah, so Untitled he's an art piece. There was a performance art exhibit in which he was the centerpiece, and I'm not sure whether he knew or not, but he was killed in this performance art piece. And as his body wasted away, he lived on as a spirit within the suit he was wearing. The name he has taken is Untitled, which was the name of the piece. And this is a name someone gave him to doom him. So he is, as pictured, sort of this very thin smoke that moves around within the confines of this, suit. He does
it's a
smell.
fancy suit too. It looks like
It is like straight up dinnerware. Black tie. He does. I tweaked slightly the smelling of books to the smelling of paint and still water. He smells sort of like oil paints.
Nice.
And the water you might leave your brush in. He does have a ghostly companion. I think this artistic piece happened some time ago. And much like the symbiote that Yawachika has, Untitled just refers to the ghostly form as the artist, and does not reference the artist further.
Does the artist communicate with you?
If he does, people are not aware of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And lost his body in the artistic metaphor, but his soul persists for the heightened irony of the whole thing.
How much does he remember of like his life before of his like mortal existence?
I don't think he remembers any of it.
Okay, but he appears to have like a fairly arch personality as a spirit.
Yes, and I did take the powers of darkness. I took Let the Dead Speak and Shadow Magic. So he is he is right there on the cusp between life and death. And is very easily allowed, he can hear the dead speak to him, and the whole artistic thing, negative space is what he would call it, not shadow magic.
That's great.
And I did take, the darkness demands that I fall in love with the destroyer of worlds. There's a lot of candidates for that. So he's a little bit torn. And,
also, to be clear, to some degree, your characters don't want to give the darkness what it demands, since you're canceling the apocalypse is your ostensible goal.
That sounds so trite, though. And then And then I do want to break the veil between the living and the dead.
Sure, yeah.
Having lived on the cusp of it for so long now, I find it highly artificial. I did take Death Walked here, which allows me to reconstruct events as sort of the part of what I liked about the Shade is it's very a detective kind of playbook.
Oh yeah.
And then I
you've
took
got some mysteries to solve.
Right, and I took the Forbidden Archives, which I have reflavored as instead of being books, it's art pieces that the division has collected over time.
Yeah, the Forbidden Gallery.
Yes, the Forbidden Gallery. Ooh, that's good. The Forbidden Gallery, and there's paintings in there that shatter the minds of lessers, should they view them. So they're not going to be something you see at MoMA. They're a little bit too intense for that.
Very good. Oh man, now I'm just coming up with experimental art jokes, but we'll save those.
I welcome them all. I did have one quick question. Newt, you said you had a lover in the past. Did they die, or are they still with us?
Oh no! That's the lover that got left behind in the Fae realm.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, so he's just left behind. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are out there, just in a different realm. And everyone feel free indeed to add additional details or ask questions about any of these.
Oh yes, and
established
because it asks, death takes the form of death speaks to me in an artistic montage, a flurry of movement, sound, color, and juxtaposition. So, Untitled sees death as art.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
I mean, is it supposed to make me feel something, or?
Let's meet our last monster. Jesse, tell us about the Fallen.
Yeah, so the idea of the Fallen, this particular character, is what if Greg Maddux was also Odin? Greg Maddux being the famed pitcher from the Chicago Cubs and the Atlanta Braves. And I just want to read one quick line from his Wikipedia page because I think it gets the idea. So as is his pitching style, Maddux relied on his command, composure, and guile to outwit hitters. I think the idea here is that Odin, like Ragnarok happened. But instead of dying and being replaced and letting the cycle continue, Odin somehow or another betrayed basically everyone involved with the situation and sneaked off, which probably left them in a bad spot. I don't know what that is. If it comes up, it comes up. Right. But decided I'm done with. I'm not going to die so that some other me can come back. Right. I want to be me. Fuck that noise. And I think over the centuries, millennia, since then, he's courted human worship in a variety of ways. He craves that. Not in the sort of like, there's like a lot of fantasy fiction and has this idea of like gods being, their power is charged by the worship of humans. I think it's like a much more base thing. Like it's just, he craves it.
He's just addicted to it.
He's just addicted to it, right? I don't want to use the language of addiction necessarily.
Sure, it's what he wants. He wants to be worshipped.
Yeah. And so he's done it as a soldier, right? As an artist, as an athlete. And I think in the current era, he's a all-star pitcher. I guess for the Mets, we're set in New York, and he can't be a Yankee, God forbid. So he's pitching for the Mets. He goes by Biff Brown. That's the name most people would know him by. I pulled that from some various different Old Norse names used for Odin, of which there are many. I imagine when he declares himself, he shouts out a whole bunch of these names.
Right. All
You
the
know,
epithets.
yeah.
So your honorary human status is that you actually are a pitcher for the Mets.
Yes,
Okay, I love it.
yes.
So people around the city would recognize you not as Odin the fallen god, but as a pitcher for the Mets.
Yeah, I mean, look, so I chose this picture of Jeff Bridges. Imagine he's wearing a baseball cap, and I think there's like a lot of like, how old is this guy? But
Yeah.
you
Lots of
know,
questions.
like how is he able to like, and so you know, we can his powers of darkness are. I don't think it plays comically. He probably does a little bit of glamoring. His fey powers are fey glamour and weapons of light and sound. So I think he looks older. You know, he's a finesse pitcher. He doesn't need to have that hard fastball, although he could throw it if he wanted to. And so and so who are the gods who taunt me are those who I betrayed. Those other the Aesir and Vanir, who I maybe the Jotun too, maybe all of them, whom I abandoned in Ragnarok. Weapons of light and sound. So certainly I have a spear that is made of light. And I can manifest, and I can probably use sound in all kinds of ways that I haven't thought about yet. So the darkness demands that I create dark churches in my name and eventually storm heaven. Conceptually, I'm not quite sure what storm heaven means here exactly. I think it's mostly about destroying the strongholds of the powerful. Yeah, like I think it's specifically not like going back into Norse heaven and like reclaiming something. I'm done with that.
Right.
I was about to ask you if we've discussed Valhalla.
Yeah. Thor can have that. I don't need that. I'm sort of done with that. In terms of moves, so I have the Fallen starting move, which is Call Me Master. No one can resist the call of your dark heart, not for long. I can mesmerize people. You know, it's not. I also have the lies that served me, and so it gives me. I can conceal a secret or truth and replace it with a lie that, depending on the role, will tell people what they believe. And I am an honorary human status because, as we said, I'm a celebrity. I'm a pitcher. I'm a baseball player. People know who I am. So I think like because of that, the public expects and demands some attention, right? Like I need to play the role.
That's great. I love that you're, in addition to being a fallen god and an agent of division, you have expectations for, related to your athletic career and current celebrity.
And like, I'm going to maybe request that like the bulk of this take place. Like, I don't know that we want to deal with the fact that I have to play games every 5 days or whatever, but we can,
I don't know enough about baseball to do that, but I can throw bothersome fans at you.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah. Exactly. That's really what I'm going for here. What I think that those are the things. What else? Oh, the darkest the darkest demands of me.
Yeah, I think
those are the things.
I think those are the things. Yeah, absolutely. What a cool set of characters. I say let's take a brief break here, and when we come back, we'll build the bonds between them.
Mm-hmm.
All right, take about 10 minutes and be back at 12 after the hour. All right, see you all soon. All right. Looks like I'll. Looks like we're back. So we're going to turn next to the bonds between our characters, and then I think after that we'll do just a little like kind of building division together. Because I'll just ask you a couple questions about division, so we get a sense of this organization you work for, and after that a mystery. So, Newt, I want to turn to you first. Talk to me about your bonds. Are there folks who are already thinking about pointing them at?
Well, one moment here. I have a few thoughts on that. Oh, sorry. Where did that go? Here we go. I guess I'm actually I guess I'll throw this one out first since it's the big one, and I want to leave this open to folks to decide it for themselves. Why can't you tell me you love me?
I can't tell you that I love you because that would solidify that you are the end of the world.
Oh, wow.
So you're saying it's not you, it's the apocalypse.
It's not you, it's the apocalypse. That's what I'm thinking.
Does that work for folks? Does it work for you also, Newt?
Yeah. I mean, not the apocalypse thing, but yeah.
And bonds are one-sided in this, right?
Yes, yeah.
So the summon gains bonds, I don't gain bonds yet. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I get 2 bonds on you. And I think that Biff would have a hard time admitting he's afraid of anyone. So I'm going to throw this out to Yawachika. Did I pronounce that right? You were there when I was summoned. What makes you afraid of me?
I have an idea that whatever my power is does not reach into the world of fae. You are a complete unknown in my plans. Or its plans.
Oh, you have plans?
Maybe. Well, no. Not at all.
Yawachika doesn't have plans. Possibly the power that Yawachika is a conduit for has plans.
Is this like when I tell Biff I'll pick up his dry cleaning or something, or is it those kinds of plans?
It's definitely not the plans where you Galactus away a planet. No, it's not like that at all.
Oh, okay, good. But yes, I get 1 bond on Yawa.
And you also get a bond with what the darkness demands of you. Why are you tempted to give in to what the darkness demands of you?
Well, I mean, I guess, well, it would be really nice if Untitled liked me, even though I don't really get any of his paintings. But I understand he is probably looking for someone more intellectual than me.
Aw, Newt. Nice. So what tempts you about what the darkness demands of you is the part where you're supposed to fall in love with the harbinger of the apocalypse.
Yes. Well, and that I'm supposed to fall in love and end the world as a result.
Yeah. When you fall in love for the last time, the door in your heart will open and destroy the world. That is a tricky thing.
Yeah, it's a bit more literal of keeping something close to my heart than most people use.
This is not a bond question, but I'm curious. Why do you work for Division?
I mean, well, let me actually just check the lines and veils here for a second. just to make certain I don't and coming up with backstory. I'm not stepping into anything. I mean, they have free food, but I mean, it's very hard to get to import food in from the Fae realms, and the apartment they gave me is okay with having pets, and with and most of the apartments in New York, I haven't been able to find that.
Nice. So they import the Fey realm food for you, and also
Yes, they house and feed me, basically.
They've put you up in a place where pets are allowed. That makes sense to me. Let's move to our next monster, Yawachika. Tell me about your bonds.
Okay. The first one, I think I have an idea. But it is you were there when I truly let go. What did I destroy that belonged to you? Why are you grateful? And the first idea I have is that this was Biff, and for some reason, like, you pissed me off or got under my skin in a moment of true rage. I destroyed thought and memory, your ravens, maybe the last connection to the... Because I saw like you had like no real desire to go back to Valhalla. It could be that in a moment of spite, actually helped you distance yourself from your old life.
Wow. Biff, what do you think?
I'm sorry. I was thinking about that line in the chat, and so I missed what you said, Yawachika. I'm very sorry.
Oh, no problem. I think that somehow Biff got under Yawachika's skin, or somehow like maybe made him angry to a point where he's not been before, and then he destroyed thought and memory, the ravens that were the tied to
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is when I truly let go. Yeah, and I think that's exactly right. And I think I'm grateful because, as useful as they were a tie back, right, to that old life that I've for so many centuries tried to be free of.
Yeah, I think you've seen me at my worst, and it's literally like well, no thought, no mind. It's like you can't joke about this. This is terrifying.
Yeah. And I think also, like, what did I do that got you so mad?
Oh, maybe it was pretending to be so human. The fact that I never even got to have a first human life, and you get how many?
Yep. I think that makes perfect sense. I think I was like, I'm going out for beers with the team, and you were like, what? Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, more than once probably, but
yeah.
That's great. And your other bond, Yawachika?
I love you, but you rejected me for my own sake. Why? And I will throw that out there.
Someone loved by Yawachika, but who rejected him for his own sake.
I don't want to take everyone's two bond.
Yeah, I could see it being Newt with like
it works for both.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I think that well, first off, I think that the Fae doesn't really like you and wants to consume you a bit because they don't quite like your magic either, just as much as you don't like theirs. And being close to me draws their attention to you. Also, are you allergic to cats? I have like 5.
I'm not allergic to cats, but I do like this Romeo and Juliet thing we have going. I'm not sure whatever empowers me does, but I do.
All right.
Nice. So Newt had to reject Yawa for Yawa's own sake. It was never going to work out. What with the dark power and the fae.
I feed my cats dry food, and I'm pretty sure Newt's a wet only person.
Yeah.
But and why am I tempted by the darkness?
Yes.
Because I think even with everything, it's just pettiness that it is so easy to give in. And why do I have to? I don't like having to hold it back all the time. Why can't everyone just feel like I do for a little while?
Yeah, you went through a lot to end up with these powers. Why do you have to always kind of keep them in check? Why can't you let loose? And why do you work for Division, Surge? Or you are the Surge. Why do you work for Division, Yawachika?
Well, this is a bit embarrassing, but I mean, I was in a different kind of cult before, and I mean, I've heard other people say that we're an organization, we're a hierarchy, we're a bureaucracy. It's a cult. I stick with what I know. It's comforting.
Great. So you consider Division a cult, but that's comforting to you. Let's move on. Untitled. Talk to me about your bonds.
I too want to start with my second one because this one's a bit more open-ended to me. I'm not exactly sure who it fits with best. I love you, but I can't accept it. Why do you allow me to remain ignorant?
Wow.
That's a tough, complex emotion in 2 sentences.
There's a lot.
I love you, but I can't accept it. Why do you allow me to remain ignorant?
I have a thought.
Okay.
And it's like it's a thought kind of based around performance. Like
okay.
I think so. I'm not sure why you can't accept it. But I think the thing that I allow you to remain ignorant of is that it was a different life. But I was at the show.
See, that's okay. So that was another one, which that's a different one, which is you were there when I died. How did witnessing my death transform our relationship?
Oh, okay. I didn't look at the first one.
So that's. And actually, I was thinking of Biff or Yawachika because like Yawachika also died. Okay, go ahead, Yawa.
I think that your art was one of the only things that I got to experience as like a mortal in my life before. And the fact, if I became your muse, your art would be stifled at the best because I'm not a proper muse. And for your artistic integrity, I let you remain ignorant.
Okay, so Yawa, you're taking the second one.
You're taking the second one. Okay, I like that. So,
I mean, that was my. I can take the first one as well, either or.
But then I can lean into the first one. I think if that makes.
Yeah. So Yawachika. Okay. So I love Yawachika, but I can't accept it. And you let me remain ignorant because it would spoil my art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm not sure how long Newt and Yawachika have been around, but I think it's interesting if Biff was there and experienced my death.
Right, and I think that's like how did witnessing my death transform our relationship? So I think I finally respected you.
Oh. So you knew Untitled before he became what he is
think so.
now.
I think where I was going with the other one, but this works better. I think was that I know the artist, right? I know the I know I know the artist who killed you, right? For their art, I think I knew you before. I knew you when you were a model, so whatever you were, right? Whatever it was that got you, and I thought you were a dupe who couldn't, and maybe you probably were to some extent, but like who couldn't actually actively like take the installation to the place where the artist needed it to go.
Oh, is that? Did you appreciate reading that in the review he wrote Untitled?
It may or may not be framed.
But like
Okay.
you like by dying as the art, by letting the ritual complete or whatever it was, right? You earned my respect, and by sort of surviving and changing.
I love this. I love that this also implies that Biff like knows a bunch about who Untitled was before he was Untitled, but has presumably not shared all of that, given that Untitled
Right,
has relatively little kind of memory of his mortal life.
Right. That was from that came from the prompt. Why'd you allow me to remain ignorant? But but I think it's fine. It doesn't have to play into that in the same way. Like, just never mentioned it because you don't seem to care. I don't think, right?
No, not really.
Right? Like, so.
Yeah. Okay. And then the last one, of course, is why am I tempted to give in to the darkness's demands?
Yeah.
Well, it would be one heck of a show.
The ultimate performance art.
It would. I mean,
post-modern.
It's the ultimate post.
Post everything.
Yeah, but I think
avant-garde.
But I did. Okay, so I came up with this idea and I just remembered it. So I am tempted to give into the darkness demands because, and this is like deep, yo. No, the closer I get to love, the more corporeal my form becomes. So if I can finally fall in love with the Destroyer of Worlds, then I can be whole once more for one moment before it all collapses.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the temptation. Why do you work for Division in the meantime?
Biff recruited me.
Biff was like, "Hey, we could use an entity like you."
And then I saw the archive, the gallery, the Forbidden Gallery.
Yeah, Forbidden Gallery.
And I have been adding to it ever since.
Yeah, that worked for you, Biff. Speaking of, let's turn to the Fallen's bonds. Wow. Okay, this is fascinating. Which of these do you want to start with?
Let's start with you made sure my fall was swift and terrible. Why don't I hate you for it?
That's so interesting because you like predate all of these characters. Like, how does this work out?
I mean, so I have a few ideas. If like it may have to do with Yawachika's Dark Patron, or right? Like, and there may be there may be. I don't know. I don't want to like. What are like? How distinct are the identities there, Yawachika? I guess is a question for me. For there.
I have like a flexible idea of what this dark power is, but like I'm fine with it being something like the Devourer. It's like, you know, a essence, whatever it was, like it was your Mongder, or your Mongder.
Right. Well, my question more was like, but like in terms of like yourself, like is this dark power completely distinct from you? Because if it is, then I don't think the bond quite works.
Oh no, it's basically like I am a piece of her. Like Galactus and the Heralds is kind of the way.
Okay.
I have a thought for how we could make that bond work.
Sure.
What if you talk about how you have plans, like other than the times, like I said, where you asked me to pick up your dry cleaning, the big plans. What if you almost achieved that plan once recently, but we caused it to fail?
Yeah, I think that can work. Also, like I have these. Right, there's a little bit of the like Highlander DNA in this character, right? With these like past lives and different, different. So like I'm sure I've had many swift and terrible falls, as various different things. So I think that makes sense. So does someone want, like in that sense, like the last time I sort of was rising to some kind of power.
I like what we were working towards with Yawachika.
Okay,
I think we could weave all of that together.
Yeah. So how did your dark power prevent me from achieving my goal?
I think they were the cowardice in your or whatever made you turn away from the gods. Like it was that dark choice that you made.
Okay, cool. I like that. Yeah. And why don't I hate you for it? Because I thank you for it. Right? Like I don't, whether it may have been a horrible betrayal and a terrible act, but it also freed me.
And pretty much, it's just like that final tipping point. It's like you kind of thing. Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a little tangent for a second. For like, I'm gonna put something. I'm gonna also stick something new in the Lines and Veils thing. So I realize we're starting to touch on some stuff with like Norse gods and things rising back up, and there's like a lot of like white supremacist tropes around this kind of stuff now, and so I want to make sure we don't touch any of that.
All right. You want to put white supremacy, use of Norse mythology in the context of
exactly, and I don't even really, I want to avoid having us hit that thematically even as a subtext. So I'm just calling it out now, because I sort of welcomed it in, and I want to.
Yeah, the way I was saying it was that the Norse gods' time has come and gone. They're not looking to come back, kind of thing. Right? Like you're the remnant.
Right. So that's a good call. I'm going to change who are the gods who taunt me. I'll come back to that and fix it, because right now it sort of feels like they are. But I think that's a good call, a way to avoid that stuff. Great. Thank you.
Absolutely. And your other bond, Biff?
Yes. So my second bond is you long to worship me. Your heart yearns for me. Why do I keep my distance from you? Anyone have thoughts about this one? The problem is I'm not terribly likable.
You're a celebrity.
That's true.
I mean, you talked about how you were an artist before.
Yeah.
Did you inspire a young Entitled?
Probably not in the way
not
you can
not
remember.
Personally, but like your art did.
Oh, I wonder. Does it? Are you comfortable with that, Untitled?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Well, also it's interesting because they are one-sided bonds, right? That's what you think. You long to worship me. Your heart yearns for me. Why do I keep my distance from you? I'm interested in that, in the second half of that for sure.
Yeah.
Why does Biff keep their distance from Untitled? Why?
No, it's. Oh, yes, it is. Never mind. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like I don't need monsters to worship me. I need people to like. There's something about like I think no. I take that back. No, that is bad.
I mean,
I'm
it
X
works.
carding that.
Fair enough. Well,
I'm X carding that. I do not want that.
All right,
Let's revel in the monstrous. Let's not have. So
You talk a lot about like discarding these old parts of yourself. Is that maybe something?
yeah. I think.
you don't want to be worshipped for what you used to be.
Yeah, because I was thinking I could have Yawachika and Biff could have had this one more if the others the others could feel more comfortable with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the other part is also, I mean, it's totally okay to be like, Untitled's just really strange.
Well, yeah, but I think I like that, right? I think so.
Right.
Like,
okay.
Meaning, I think the thing. I think the thing that bothers me is that I don't want the worship of my teammates. I think that's actually what it is, right?
There's work combo. It could be
you want the worship of the masses, not your teammates.
Yeah, it's a work power dynamics thing, 100%. Yeah. I think that's exactly it. It's like we have to work together. I can't have you worshiping me.
I also love it that because Untitled's powers are all like darkness and negative space, right? And you have weapons of light.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no, you're perfect. We're the contrast. We're two parts of the same palette. And yeah, okay.
Yeah. I like it.
So many baseball cards collected by Untitled.
Biff, did we? Oh yeah, we still need to ask. Why are you tempted to give in to what the darkness demands of you?
Yep. I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward. It feels good.
Yeah. So what it demands of you is similar to what you're seeking, just on a grander scale.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's just like I'm seeking it because it feels good. It's nice. And I work for Division. That's the next question you're going to ask, right?
It is. Yes.
Yeah. I work for Division because, well, it seems like a good place to take out the competition from.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Because you get warnings of like other ancient gods and potential rival powers, and you get to help squash them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's paint a little more about Division. A couple of you have taken Division moves, and those all come with. Did you get a bond with the public? I see. There's.
Yes, and I can do a thing once per scene, in order to either gain a new bond or declare a condition.
Oh, nice. Is this built? This is built into Call Me Master or another move?
This is honorary human status.
There we go. That's how that works. Great, and that works perfectly with the character. What's the question built into honorary human status? Did we ask that?
Yeah. How what does the public expect and demand from you?
Baseball and this kind of celebrity.
Yeah, like being a celebrity.
Yeah.
Showing up in People magazine from time to time.
People will want your autograph. People want to take selfies with you.
Exactly.
You got to make sure the selfie doesn't accidentally capture your weird cosmic eye that causes people to feel like they're staring into the abyss.
Yep.
Great. That's wonderful. The other Division move we have in play is the Forbidden
Gallery.
Forbidden Archives, which is the Forbidden Gallery. Okay. Why don't you answer one of the questions about the Forbidden Gallery here, Untitled?
What creature lies waiting in the restricted and forbidden archives?
So, beyond just the Forbidden Gallery itself, there's a restricted section of the Forbidden Gallery where a creature lies
Gallery. And it's the most dangerous force of all on the Wii. And it leaks out on occasion. You may have perhaps felt it yourself, but yes, that is where, this is straight out of, I forget. This is just like this floating black mass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It settles
suspended
surrounds
big
you.
metal apparatus, and it's just concentrated ennui.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it is like all ennui, and like any ennui that we feel in the world is just the little vapors of it that have
feeds into it,
slipped out. But if the whole thing were ever released, what would become of us? All right, that's a great answer. Excited to have the Forbidden Gallery as part of our division. The only thing I defined about a division ahead of time for our series is that it's headquartered in the Flatiron Building in New York City. So I guess what I'd love to hear from each of you is just a little like vignette, right? It can be just a single image or so of like your character's daily life at the Flatiron Building, at the division headquarters, like where they go to be briefed on missions, where they go to hang out, where they if they live within the building, what that looks like. So a little division vignette. Newt, what would we see if perhaps this is like over the opening credits of the show, right? What would we see of Newt at division?
I mean, everyone in division is always forgetting to water the plants, and I feel kind of bad about that because somebody needs to do it, and they need to be taken care of. So usually I'm the one that has to do it in the morning. I mean, I tried setting up a chores like circle thing, but everybody just sort of ignores that. So I do a lot of the chores.
Great. So we see Newt kind of like with his hunch and his pointed ears, and the little tiny watering can watering the plants, all through the headquarters, wherever they've been added to bring life into the place. Yawachika, what would we see as a like vignette of life at division?
Yawachika is sitting at this like regular looking desk, drawing this intricate, almost artistic relic of some kind of ancient god or demon or eldritch being. And like someone then like passes it on, someone like adds it to this portfolio of like lost sigils, and then he gets this new one, is about to reach for a colored pencil to do it, and the symbiote lurches off his arm as a centipede grabs the green, replaces it to his hand, and he just starts going back to making another sigil.
Nice, a little assist from the symbiote who doesn't deserve a name. Untitled, what would we see in your division vignette?
There's a lot of historical architecture in the Flatiron Building, and as much as the division tries to keep everything up and to keep everything as it was, it's just never precise enough for Untitled. So he is constantly going back and repolishing and chipping away and finishing off and redoing the sort of the architectural pieces on the building. So he's like doing art restoration on one of the and it's like some forgotten elevator in the back that nobody ever really goes to. But Untitled is like, no, this mosaic tile thing that is original to the building, it must be preserved.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I've just pulled up an image so we can picture this building. It's got a very striking, when you're coming at it from the angle of like the pointy end of the building, it is very striking, and certainly Untitled has his work cut out for him. Keeping all the little architectural nooks and crannies, pristine when there are division agents tramping around inside the thing. Wonderful. Biff, what would we see in a little vignette of Division life?
Yeah, I think it's like Biff super multitasking.
Hmm.
There's like three different things going on. He's playing a game of chess, perhaps with who is the division head that we talked about, who looks like me?
Director Nagel.
With Director Nagel. Right. Play has like a cigar chomped between his teeth. Playing chess with Director Nagel across a table. While he's carving a block of wood into the shape of a bear. And off behind Director Nagel, you can see there's like game footage that he's studying of opposing hitters.
Amazing.
So it's like this sort of like, it's sort of like trying to cap the scheming kind of multiple different things going on.
Single eye moving back and forth.
Yeah,
very quickly.
Exactly.
All these things. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah. And with this kind of, with this introductory sequence, we will, smash cut right to these four monsters, this squad of agents who hold back the apocalypse, now in, Director Nagel's office. So, no longer merely, no longer playing chess in a kind of cheerful way. Director Nagel clearly has a job for you, and he's, got a lollipop in his mouth. Notorious sweet tooth, this Director Nagel, and pulls it out, kind of gestures with it. He says, well, we got word of some murders in Central Park. Definitely supernatural. Corpses floating around an obelisk. NYPD has stepped aside. This is going to be a division job. Contact is waiting for you on site. 4 of you, make me proud. Biff, was that an in-character snort?
Yes.
Nagel stares you down a moment, sighs, sucks on the lollipop again, and says, I'm serious. Nothing good comes from floating corpses. Whatever supernatural shenanigans are here, I want them exposed and dealt with. Understood?
Do you know what it's made of?
What? The corpses? Human bodies.
No. The obelisk. Is it onyx? Is it obsidian? Is it granite? This can be a great detail.
He flips open the dossier, and you see a picture of Cleopatra's Needle, which is a real Egyptian obelisk in Central Park, and says, sandstone.
Curious.
You're telling me. The contact is Jacqueline Balmer. As you know, we keep files on all of the professional psychics in the city. Up until today, we thought she was firmly in the fake column, but she tipped us off and it checked out. I don't think she made a lucky guess that there'd be 4 corpses floating there.
I say, well, then let's get going. And I sort of like just turn around and walk out with my back to everybody else.
Nice. Newt, do you have any reaction to the news of the job, or Director Nagel kind of staring at Biff in a little bit of pique, slightly strange looking back and forth between the two of them. They could be brothers.
I think Newt is really uncertain about how to handle this. because they're really uncomfortable when people are arguing around him. I'm sure he meant he meant that in a really nice way, and I go running out after Biff.
Yeah, Biff, you as the Fallen, you can take tokens of darkness when you feel that others are beneath you. So I'll give you if you want that, I will say that triggers. Yeah. And whenever you gain darkness, you kind of make your own determination how many you take. So are you taking 2 tokens for that?
Yeah, just 2. I think it was like a petty slight to show that I think he's my boss, but he's beneath me. So.
Oh yeah, and I guess I'll take 2 for feeling abandoned. I was just panicking then about it.
Untitled. What? Do you have any reaction to all this, or you're ready to hit the streets and work?
Yeah, I think Untitled is just sitting in the back. Whatever arms there are crossed, and then if everyone else leaves, Untitled will just be like, "Well, I guess I'm carrying the dossier," and comes up and picks up the the documents that are actually the case file, right? That we're supposed to bring with us, and
do little thin tendrils of smoke kind of come out of your suit sleeves to gather these things up? What does it look like when you pick something up?
Yeah, it just smoky tendrils. It kind of just lifts and curls up and gets tight to the suit.
Very nice. All right. Well, you're the scene of this discovery is in Central Park, so you can head straight uptown, either on foot or in the subway, or however it is that monsters tend to travel. Yawachika, do you want to give us just a flash of this transit scene before we're in Central Park?
Yeah, I think Yawachika is probably taking the subway, probably with several others, but he's staring straight ahead, and this young kid looks over, sees this one tattoo on him, then the symbiote takes over the tattoo, makes it wink, makes it do all this stuff, but whenever the kid gets their parents to look over, it completely goes back to normal, and he gets that entire don't look. He's like, yeah, he has tattoos. Don't make a show of it, kind of thing.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I like to imagine it's like a mermaid tattoo, and the symbiote is making it kind of wave and splash in the ink water. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. When the 4 of you get to Central Park, there's mounted police who are kind of cordoning off a significant swath of the park. Members of the public have gathered round, trying to rubberneck, but they're being kept kind of well back and away from the obelisk. Biff, you often seem to be taking the lead. Do you think you're striding ahead of the other monsters as you approach the kind of cordon area here?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. A kind of mounted police officer holds up a hand and it's like, hold on a moment, and then it's like, wait, don't you pitch for the Mets?
Yes. I moonlight sometimes.
You're here with Division?
Like I said, I moonlight sometimes.
Could I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Just let's do this quickly. And I smile and I put on the biggest grin, and I kind of I think I hit a light hit a light glamour to kind of soften my look, right, so that I don't look quite as old in the picture. And maybe it's disguise, maybe it's vanity. Unclear.
Absolutely. Yeah, and the camera, the phone snaps, and the officer is looking at it, and then waves the 4 of you on through. You can tell you're definitely with Division, the rest of you. There's there's an obelisk. There, it's let me. Obelisk. There's some division text kind of walking around the base of the obelisk. It looks like they're like discussing amongst themselves and figuring out how they're going to get the corpses down, because there are 4 dead bodies kind of floating, kind of very slowly circling the obelisk. They're up, 10, 11 feet in the air, and other than that, it is a lovely spring day in Central Park. The sun is shining, the birds are singing. And kind of hurrying over to meet with the 4 of you as you arrive is a young woman in kind of hipster-esque clothing. She's kind of holding a black cat as she says, "Hi, you're from Division. I'm Jacqueline Balmer. They said I was supposed to meet you here." And I think she looks at Yawa, who's the youngest seeming of this group. Is that correct?
Probably.
Yeah. So she looks at you, someone who looks closer to her own age. It says, I'm supposed to tell you about what I saw, or really what she saw. And she says, petting the cat in her arms. And you're going to figure out what's going on with the. She gestures, towards the floating, rotating bodies.
You only have the one.
The what?
Cat. I thought they came in pairs of 5 to 10.
I found this little gal wandering the streets. So.
Oh, that's just my apartment, Yawa.
That's not normal? It's a cute one anyway. What did she say?
Jacqueline takes a big breath. She says, "So, usually people just want to know what their pets' past lives were or whatever, and I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at that. But then I found this cat all lost and alone, and I was trying to help it, and I just suddenly this vision of hers came right into my head, of this figure with a curvy sword, and there were flashes, and then 4 people rising slowly to spin round this obelisk. It was nighttime though. It wasn't morning like now. Anyway,
Jacqueline.
I called it into Division because it seemed like they were the people to handle it.
Jacqueline, I need you to hand me the cat. And 2 smoky arms come out of the suit.
Yeah, she involuntarily kind of pulls away a little bit as this ghostly figure puts arms out.
I think the moment you do that, Newt kind of snatches up the cat from her and kind of looks at Untitled. You're not gonna hurt the cat, are you?
Of course not.
I look a little skeptical, but I still okay.
I have asked someone to follow my instructions. Can I take darkness tokens for that?
Yeah, absolutely. taking sort of this this kind of
I have an
clinical approach.
I have an important question. Was the curved sword a Kopesh, Kukuri, or other implement of destruction? This can help in my visions.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jacqueline kind of pauses for a moment, and she says, "A Kopesh. Yeah, that sounds exactly right."
Yeah, I was like, can I take 2 tokens for being numb to all of this?
Oh, when you feel overwhelmed or numb, absolutely. And then I want to ask Untitled, what are you? The cat is kind of pulling back from you a little bit,
like a cat was not being properly held. The limbs.
Yeah, I think it's probably crawling all over me as you try to reach out for it.
Oh yeah, exactly. The cat has like climbed up Newt's arm to try and hide behind his head from Untitled.
So I do want to do my soul like a steel trap. Reading the tense situation, which is not the situation with the cat. Obviously, it's the 4 floating bodies that the rest of my compatriots are ignoring. And I think this cat has something to do with it.
Go ahead and tell us how that move goes.
Excellent. So your cold analytical skills can help you devise the perfect plan. When you study a tense situation, spend darkness tokens and roll. Math. I'm going to spend both my darkness tokens. So roller, which is over here somewhere, d6 plus 2.
Our first roll.
Rolling. Still rolling. Concerningly long rolling. Lost connection to game server. Must please refresh the page. Okay, hold on.
I'm seeing a 7, I have to say.
Okay. Yes, I see a 7 as well. I can burn a bond. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. You can use bonds to adjust your rolls. So at the end, there's in Apocalypse Keys, there's a sweet spot where an 8 to 10 means you've used your powers with precision and control. 11 plus means you've gone too far, but a 7 minus means you fell short or fate has intervened. The 7 minus is the miss result where you're in the keeper's hands. So you might indeed want to burn a bond to push to an 8.
So. Okay, and I want to. So I don't get to ask any questions on a 7 minus, even if I mark ruin to allow death to aid me. Is that correct?
Oh, fascinating. Let me read how that goes. Choose mark condition to push yourself to interrupt the trap, or mark ruin to allow death to aid you. I don't think so. It sounds like on a 7 minus, the harbinger, which is your enemy, right? Like whoever is behind the terrible goings on is the harbinger, right? The harbinger has prepared for this moment, and a trap is sprung. Choose mark a condition to push yourself to interrupt the trap, or mark ruin to allow death to aid you. So it's kind of like it's going to be a trap, but you decide which way you deal with it, and like one of those is what's happening on a 7 minus.
I'm gonna burn the bond, not born to burn. I'm gonna burn the bond of what the darkness demands of you, and thematically, just black cats. I own 2 of them. I'm not super superstitious about it, but they're closer to death than the regular average cat. And they're closer to the veil, right? So yeah,
what's the moment where kind of reaching out to the cat and trying to read this situation reminds you of the artistic exhibit that resulted in your death?
Ooh, I'm sorry. What that you asked me?
I was asking, what's the moment in all this when you are reaching out to this cat and kind of and trying to read the situation, when you are suddenly reminded of the artistic exhibit that led to your death?
It's not the exhibit itself. It was in Brooklyn, because all art's done in Brooklyn. And there was actually a local bar across the street during all of the preparation. There's just this brief flash to Untitled of his life before. But that was the bar he frequented, and there was a black cat who would frequently go in and out of the bar. That's sort of like the neighborhood cat.
Yeah, absolutely. So that like honest, that like little reminder of life before, that kind of pushes home a little of what the darkness demands of you. Because of course, as we've established, if you ever fully gave into the darkness, you would have a moment of being like fully corporeal again.
Yes.
Before everything ended. All right, that pushes your result up to an 8.
What do the division files tell me about this cat and this obelisk?
Nice, good question. I'll go ahead and say that you were able to kind of speed read the files that were handed to you on your way over. So you kind of you have the the like public history of the obelisk. It was created in the Old Kingdom of Egypt. It was moved to kind of Cleopatra's palace during her reign, and then moved again to New York City in the modern history of the city, and set up in Central Park, not far away from the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which of course houses many other artifacts of Egyptology. I think the key thing you'd pick up from the Division files is the kind of the Egyptology expert that Division has contacted. Whenever mummies run amok and such, is a person named Professor Breckenridge, who's the curator of the Egyptology wing of the Met, and his whole Division contact file was helpfully included in what you picked up, and it mentions that he's kind of repeatedly lodged complaints with Division after collaborating with them because he feels Division agents destroy too many artifacts in their work.
And then I guess my follow-up is, what weakness do I perceive?
Ooh.
In the obelisk itself, or this cat, or
in the obelisk, or in the cat,
or the dead bodies, because I can talk to dead bodies. So
that's true. What's a useful one? Yeah, I think you can see that. I think it's not visible to the naked eye, right? But with a little of your kind of strange spiritual senses, you see kind of a hairline fracture running down from the tip of the obelisk down to the base, and perhaps you even see that it's slowly spreading, giving the sense that this is a new development here. How's that work for you?
Works great. Biff and Untitled, there's this flurry of papers. They're just it's they all spread out into an accordion, and then they all shift around, and then one gets pulled out. This Egyptologist, I believe we should contact them, and just the dossier will go over to Biff. You have one of those phones, yes?
We should look at the bodies first.
I barely noticed them.
Yes, get a sense of how they were treated. Put the pieces together. Jacqueline, walk with me.
And she does, but as she does, she's looking at you don't I know you from haven't I seen you on TV?
Yes, I'm on TV. I throw balls. Hopefully people don't hit them. We're busy now, Jacqueline. I'll help you later.
Oh, sports.
We'll talk about this later.
Not really into sports, to be honest.
Yes, well. And I start sort of giving her orders, right? Sort of telling her, okay, look, we're gonna examine this body this way and that body that way. I don't want to talk about how we're handling the dead bodies too much, but I think at some point I lift up my eye patch and sort of try to peer at the bodies through my empty wounded eye socket.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, I'm grasping a key here. I'm going to spend one token. I also can I pick up some tokens for reacting with spider arrogance and feeling others are beneath me in the my treatment of Jacqueline there?
Yeah, you think so? So there's some like you're giving off like notably arrogant vibes as you're.
I mean,
impressions here.
oh yeah, I'm 100% like treating her as like she's a psychic. She's supposed to be I don't know exactly what her role is as a player, but presumably she's a consultant. She has some sort of status with Division. And I'm treating her like an intern.
Yeah. She's your contact on
and
site.
not the way you should actually treat an intern, right? The way you should not treat an intern.
Absolutely,
They often get treated.
To be clear, she's your contact on site, but until today, Division didn't think she had real psychic powers. So so she feels like she needs to prove herself and probably is like going along with this. But I'm cool with you taking darkness tokens for like being arrogant in the way you're going about this.
Excellent. And I'm going to spend one of them to get +1 on my grasping keys roll.
Yeah, let's go ahead and grasp some keys. This is how we gather clues that will help us solve this mystery. And I should say, since I built this as like a starter mystery, it is complexity 4, meaning you're kind of once you get up to 4 clues, you could potentially roll make a flat roll to solve the mystery, and once you get more than 4 clues, you actually get bonuses to solve the mystery.
Wonderful. So that was a 5.
That was a 5 all told.
Yeah.
As you
4 plus 1. A 1 and a 3 plus 1.
Okay. On a 7 minus, you find more than you were ready for. You may choose to mark ruin to uncover a key, but in doing so, the keeper will reveal how you come closer to becoming a harbinger.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 100% gonna mark ruin to uncover a key.
Yeah, absolutely. So the situation here is, as the Division techs have managed to like basically set up some ladders and scaffolding around the obelisk in order to like bring the bodies down from where they were just floating unassisted, right? Defying gravity. You just like stare one of these dead people in the face with your uncovered kind of cosmic eye. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes.
Let me give you a key, but we're also going to reveal how you come closer to becoming a harbinger here. Yeah, I think you see kind of this dead man's skin like ripple as if in reaction to your gaze, and suddenly manifesting on his face are hieroglyphics spelling out passages that perhaps Biff you recognize, being a well-traveled man. Perhaps you recognize a passage from the Book of the Dead suddenly appearing in kind of hieroglyphics rising like welts on this victim's face, and what in this passage relates to your own kind of previous divine status that kind of tugs at you here. Oh, you're muted.
I mean, first of all, I think it's just the it definitely deals with Egyptian sky divinities. Right. And I think maybe over the years I've come in contact with some Egyptian related pantheon stuff, but that's not really what that's not the personal thing here. I think
all the Egyptian gods are such hipsters.
But I think what it is I think it's just that the way in which I'm a harbinger is that, and so I think it's just like that like hint of divine power. Right, like I don't have full divine power anymore. That's part of what I'm trying to achieve again, and it's that like it's a connection to that divine sky god power. that makes me feel what I'm missing in like a real way and want it very much.
I think like Jacqueline, like first gasps seeing these hieroglyphics manifest, and then like gasps again. She's like, you're glowing, right? And like she like is stepping back away from you. She says, "Oh, you're Osiris."
She says, I say, if you want to say a prayer, I wouldn't say no. Actually, stronger than that. I think I told her, would that gain your worship?
I always felt like probably it was the Egyptian gods that gave me my pet psychic powers.
Then pray. Yeah, and I'm definitely asking someone to worship me.
He like doesn't know exactly what to do, but like tries like folding her hands, and she's like saying, "Oh gods, don't let me screw this up. Let me help the division, and let's get justice for these dead people."
Yeah, that puts me to 6 darkness tokens.
Oh, so. Wonderful. So let's put a pin in that for a moment. And honestly, we should take our second break. So Newt, Yawa, when we come back, I'm going to check in with you. Then we'll see Biff deal with this overabundance of darkness tokens. Perhaps we'll find one more key before we wrap up. Who knows? So let's take 10. Be back at 10:30, and then we'll wrap things up. All right. Everybody ready to jump back in? Yawachika. I'm going to say that this scene of dead bodies floating around an obelisk looks oddly familiar to you. What went wrong the last time you investigated a supernatural event of this nature?
I think it's the last time sandstone was involved. Well, there was a reason to call someone who dealt with when mummies walked the earth that the dead did not stay just floating, but arose.
Nice. Yeah. So you have a moment here, right? Two of your colleagues are investigating a cat. One of them's staring at the bodies. What do you do?
Yeah, as soon as as Jacqueline talks about it being a Kopesh, he nods. Ah, I see then. And since my little monster helps me with 3 basic moves, I think I have the 3 picked out, and I'd like to name them so I don't just suddenly have a plus or minus 1 to them.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the moves?
I believe it will be, let me get to the basic. It'll be Unleash the Dark, Power Through the Darkness, and if I may, Grasping Keys.
That is a basic move.
Okay.
Probably a smart one to choose, because you do need to grasp a bunch of keys to succeed at this.
Yes, so I'm going to spend 2 of my darkness tokens, and since everyone seems to be doing their own thing, let's say, Yawachika will shake his head, be looking like he's talking to himself, and he just says, "Attend me," as he summons the symbiote to help. But I'll be spending 2 tokens and looking up as I blink back to the aeons that is not I has seen beyond, and try to cosmically gather what was significant about this.
Does like the ink from your tattoos kind of like spread over your eyes when you're kind of like calling on this second sight in this way?
I think the camera pans into like the tattoo that the symbiote is forming out into, like coming out of his body. But I think Yawachika does like that guitarist thing where he bends backwards halfway, and the symbiote just like alien style comes out of his body as a tattoo as the powers start working through him.
Got it. I see. So you're kind of looking through the symbiote's eyes as like, this like skull tattoo on your chest kind of like rises up to be like an additional set of eyes looking at it. Yeah. Go ahead and roll grasping keys.
Okay.
So you're going to use second sight to see beyond the veil here.
Let's do 2d6 plus 2. That would be 10.
All right, a 10 is a sweet spot. So, on an 8 to 10, you uncover a key, and the keeper will tell you what it is. Nice. You kind of, you see in flashes. I think you see like a little bit of the history of this obelisk, even, right? You see it kind of being shipped across the ocean to New York City in the 1800s. You see it's kind of originally standing in Old Kingdom Egypt, and then you kind of you focus in, right? You want to see like what happened kind of when blood was shed here, right? And you hear an echoing voice saying, "I will find it. The true heart is here somewhere. I know it." And the yeah, the clue is an echoing voice seeking for a true heart. And I will write that into our keys tab, unless someone else is already working on that. Nice. Newt, you were kind of, I guess, comforting the cat. What do we?
Yeah, and to clarify, that wasn't what's her face's cat, right? That was just one she found.
Yeah, it's been established that that this cat was found wandering the streets. Jacqueline, the pet psychic, took it in.
Oh, all right, it's Newt's cat now, and
It's Newt's cat now.
I've named it and added it to my character sheet.
What name have you given the cat?
Mr. Fairwumps.
And the cat. Jacqueline referred to the cat as a female cat.
Oh, okay, Miss Fairwumps then.
All right, cool. I can modify the NPC tab accordingly. Yeah, so Miss Fairwumps is kind of, mewing a little plaintively, and did Untitled end up drawing anything from the cat, or you kind of, the cat pulled away from you and you're focused on other things?
I think yeah, the cat has pulled away from me. The cat was more of a focus to that brief moment of Untitled's past, not so much the other parts that were revealed. So yeah, the cat is probably scurrying over towards Newt.
I think the cat is like on Newt's shoulders, right? Like kind of like running back and forth, basically. Yeah, does that work for you, Newt?
Yeah. I'm actually petting it softly and murmuring to it.
Yeah, the cat mews a little bit and then kind of like bats at the like seeping wound of darkness in your chest. Like it's curious. What's this do?
Oh no, little guy. You don't want to play with that. And I pick it up and like pull out a cat treat from my pocket and give it to it.
Here's my question.
I think I am revealing my heart. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right. So we're gonna roll reveal your heart to try to sincerely connect to someone. So you do have to spend darkness tokens. But yeah, tell me a little more about sincerely connecting with this cat and what you're spending on this roll.
Well, I don't have many darkness tokens, so I think I'm just spending the one.
All right.
I think that I'm what am I doing? Yeah, I think that I'm apologizing to it for Untitled, that sometimes they get very overeager and don't think about how they come off to others. Same with Biff, really everyone else on my team. I mean, they're very nice when you get to know them, but they do sometimes like to order you around and stomp on your feelings.
Go ahead and roll with your +1 for the 1 darkness token, I think.
Oh, and that is a 4. So it would take a lot of bonds to really pump that up.
On a 7-, something interrupts or undermines the moment, an omen, consequence, or an aspect of the mystery itself. The keeper will tell you what happens next. Well, this seems actually like a lovely time to tick the doomsday clock. So there are 4 ticks on the doomsday clock for this mystery. So we're ticking one of them. You can see this being tracked in the keys and doomsday clock tab. So yeah, I think you as you kind of like pet the cat and try to try to calm it a little bit. The cat lets out like a hiss, right? Like it's been startled by something, and kind of like, cats don't do this very much. It's more a dog thing, but Miss Fairwumps does like almost like point, right? Like she's pointing over towards a kind of like shadowy copse of trees near the obelisk. Newt, do you follow this direction? Do you check out what?
I let Miss Fairwumps climb up onto my shoulder, and I go to check this out.
Oh yeah, you gotta, right?
Just so I can get some tokens, I'm going to Newt, where are you? Oh, never mind. Now I feel ignored, so I'm going to take some darkness tokens.
Oh great, yeah. So Newt follows the cat and totally ignores you. Is what I'm getting here. Great, yeah. Newt, you arrive, at this shady copse of trees, and kind of you notice suddenly amidst the trees is a massive set of metal scales, just kind of planted there in the trees. A set of scales like you would weigh things in, right? And like, in one of the scales is clearly blood stained, right? There's blood
yeah,
dripping down to the ground and pooling beneath them.
Right. And in retrospect, I do think I was indirectly asking the cat to love me and only ever me. So I'll give myself darkness tokens for that.
How many darkness tokens? How hard were you
2.
asking the cat? All right, yeah, just 2 darkness tokens as you ask the cat to love you and only you. Yeah, you see this set of scales, blood dripping from one, and then you nearly stumble over just a canopic jar lying by the foot of this thing. Just a very old looking clay jar with the head of a jackal on top of it, still sealed, it seems.
I think I reach out, I kind of poke at it, make certain it's real. Sometimes I think things are real, but they turn out to be not real. I mean, that's kind of usually it's one of Untitled's arts projects, but
sometimes it's a fey glamour of some sort.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem to be a glamour. This seems to be the genuine article, a real canopic jar you could stub your toe against. As you touch it, the cat hisses louder and digs claws into your shoulder. It does not like you getting close to this thing.
I'm sorry, little guy, but I gotta investigate this. It's kind of my job. I do think I am grasping for keys here.
All right. Let's have that roll. Yeah. Grasp at keys. How much darkness are you spending?
I'm gonna just still spend 1 because I kind of do want to fill my darkness tracks so I can everything for you, my love. Beautiful. Use that move. So let's see here. So
yeah, go ahead and roll +1 as you grasp for keys.
Oh, and that's an 11.
All right. Is this our first 11 plus roll here where someone is going too far?
You can burn a bond to lower it as well.
That's true.
You could bring that up. There's an option.
You could pull it down to a nice a nice safe 10 here.
Let's see what is
So for grasping keys, on an 8 to 10, you uncover a key. The keeper will tell you what it is. On an 11 plus, you uncover a key, but there's a significant complication, cost, or fallout. The keeper will tell you what it is.
Now, can I spend it before I find out what the complication or cost is, or after?
Oh, interesting. I interpret it as kind of as you see the dice hit the table,
okay.
And you take in what the result is, you can spend the bond to move it up or down. But I don't think you can kind of wait for me to spell out the cost necessarily.
Okay. Well, I have Miss Fairwump's on my shoulder, and I want to be careful of that. So I guess I will spend one of my bonds on Untitled since I did ignore them.
Yeah, that's true. You kind of brushed off Untitled in order to go and approach this. Absolutely. Yeah, and you're taking a look at the canopic jar.
Yeah.
Opening it up.
Yeah, why not? I'm good at that.
Yeah, it kind of like comes open, with like just a small like burst of dust, and you see inside of it is just stuffed with IDs and passports. And if you start like rifling through them, you can see they like date back for centuries, right? Like there's some that are current IDs. There's some that are older IDs, and they have many different names in them. But all of the ones that have pictures have the same man depicted, though with different lengths of beard, right, and colors of hair. But
yeah, good. I thought this was going to be grosser, but okay.
Yeah. You get the clue. A stash of passports and IDs dating back centuries. And let's check back in with Biff, who is torn between what the darkness demands of him and his and the mission. Let's check on that. So you are torn between these things because you filled up with darkness by demanding to be worshipped. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. I think I've I'm what the darkness wants from me is to build dark churches to me. Right. And this is me, like I was demanding that, right, in a sort of small, petty way. And I think
when you're torn between your monstrous nature and your human heart, or when you are tempted by what the darkness demands of you, make a choice. So this is not a roll. This is just a choice. You're choosing whether you let your monstrous nature show and describe the damage your outbursts cause, mark 1 ruin. Describe how you diminish your power and conform to what society demands and lose all darkness tokens, or spend a bond with someone. Describe how they directly or inadvertently help you center yourself.
So I have something that makes sense, but I think I'm struggling. I need to think about this character concept a little bit, because I think what I want to do is spend my bond with the public. Right. And I think what happens is, like, I think about, I think it's like a specific, like I'm asking this person to worship me as a god.
Yeah.
And the thing I remember, I think the thing that comes to my mind, is like when a kid asked me to sign a baseball, like a 6-year-old kid, this little girl, I there was like a foul tip off a pitch I threw, and after the game, like she came to me, we were signing stuff, and she asked me to sign the baseball, and like there's a piece of my interest in the public that's like about people worship me, but there's also a piece of like about like connection and what they get out of it, and what I can be as sort of like a symbol for them and something meaningful for them.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the so like it pulls, it's like what is this, like, this person's like worship mean to me here? Nothing good is coming of it, really. And it doesn't even feel that good out here, frankly. But there can be a better kind of connection.
How does this kind of softer side of celebrity like manifest. Perhaps to Jacqueline, you're kind of bewildered.
Right. Like, what's
here.
her physical posture as she's like saying this prayer? Right. Like,
I think like she's like kind of like try to like awkward half bow as she's trying to figure out.
So I sort of
how
like
she should respond.
I put my hand on her elbow and I kind of like sort of guide her up to a full standing position, and I'm like, Miss Balmer, it's really, I appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Thank you. And I sort of I think walk back towards Untitled, pulling out my cell phone maybe to make that next phone call.
Nice. And Untitled, I want to check back in with you for a moment, as you've kind of had the chance probably to take in a little of like what's going on all around with your colleagues. And Newt kind of walked right past you to investigate a lead that the cat had pointed him towards. But Biff is approaching, getting ready to call Dr. Breckenridge. Sounds like. What do you do?
So, the division agents have been pulling these dead bodies down. And maybe even the one that is Jacqueline? That Jacqueline is next to, right? Biff has like gotten up and moved away, and Untitled just slides over and goes, "My apologies. This is my specialty." And just like these wisps of smoke go down and encircle the person's face. And I'm going to grasp for keys, but using my power of letting the dead speak.
That makes
I'm going to try and get a clear vision or account from this person about what happened here.
Yeah, you're interrogating the dead. Absolutely. Go ahead. Yeah. So like tendrils of your smoke go in through this into like the corpse's mouth, or like eyes, or like everything.
So I'm trying to think what like a cool way that feeds into the character concept.
Eyes are windows of the soul.
Eyes are windows of the soul. Like into their eyes, and like it almost like comes up and becomes this sort of moving, floating picture above them, right? Of what they see.
Yeah. How they speak will be through a kind of artistic lens here.
Yes. I'm just gonna spend one darkness. Right. I feel like the dice are gonna be lucky this time. What could possibly go wrong?
Let's see what happens. And 8 is good. An 8 is getting a key. And the key is what is spoken by this dead person, right? This victim. I think what's a good one here? In the kind of artistic montage that's playing out in the air above this dead person, you see like the dead man himself standing in the park, on a sunny day like this one, and he's got a park map open in front of him, and kind of marked on his map are pyramids. And of course there aren't any pyramids in Central Park, but on this man's map there are pyramids kind of that seem to have been drawn onto the park, and he's clearly following the map to find them, to trace along their path. And so the the clue is a map of the park with pyramids drawn on it in blood, we'll say. Yeah, the like kind of the like end of the vision is just the like map of the park growing larger and larger until the the markings of the pyramids start bleeding down, and then it's like there's like red paint kind of falling out of this this vision you've summoned, and splattering on the ground, and like Jacqueline might like step back, and then it's like, oh, it's just paint.
That's what Jacqueline says?
Yeah.
Well, yes, of course.
And I'm up to end on that image as we wrap up for tonight. I just do a check-in on the end of session questions for XP here. So let's see. I think situational moves might have this for us. Newt, did you express your monstrous nature and/or your humanity?
Yeah.
You adopted a cat. Mark 1 XP for that. Did you learn something significant about yourself and/or your impending ruin?
No, I don't think so. No.
Yeah, we'll keep that in mind, and give you opportunities next time to learn about yourself and your ruin. Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
I don't think we haven't really had a chance to interact yet.
Yeah, we'll get some of that. Interacting is important to this game. Did you uncover at least one key of the apocalypse or attempt to unlock Doom's door?
I think so, but that's what finding the clue is effectively in this game, right?
Yeah. The clues are keys. You got one. Very good. Yawachika, I'm going to ask you these questions. Did you express your monstrous nature and/or your humanity?
I believe my rock star reading of the past works.
Yeah, with the symbiote, staring out of you. That tracks for me. Go ahead and mark 1 XP. Did you learn something significant about yourself and/or your impending ruin?
I do not believe so.
Absolutely. We'll keep that in mind for the future also. And did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
I don't think it's significant, but I want to put out there that I learned that Biff would slum as Osiris. So
I will. I'm willing to entertain that if you would like the XP for it.
Take it where you can get it.
Yes, I will.
Oh, I meant slumming as Osiris also. But
Yeah.
Did you uncover at least one key of the apocalypse or attempt to unlock Doom's door?
I did.
All right, you got a key. So you don't have to mark a ruin. That last question is someone where if you say no, you mark a ruin. Untitled. Did you express your monstrous nature and/or your humanity?
Yeah, I think so. Reading right in front of just a regular human, reading that person's death thoughts.
Hey, she's an accredited pet psychic. Yeah,
regular human. Compared to the rest of us, regular human.
Did you learn something significant about yourself and/or your impending ruin?
So I think the flashback to the Brooklyn bar might count as that.
Oh yeah, and the cat in the bar.
Yeah.
And so mark 1 XP for that. Did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
No, I don't think so.
That's all right. You can always extend your weird powers to learn stuff about fellow PCs too. So keep it in mind.
True.
Did you uncover at least one key of the apocalypse or attempt to unlock Doom's door?
I did.
Nice. So no need to mark ruin for that. Last but not least, Biff, did you express your monstrous nature and/or your humanity?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Bunch of
absolutely.
times.
We had that whole torn between at the end where you're kind of deciding which of those you're going to express.
hmm
Did you learn something significant about yourself and/or your impending ruin?
Definitely not my impending ruin. I'm tempted to say like I learned something significant about like sort of
What kind of worship you want?
where I'm at in the moment. Like I think surely Jesse as a player learned something about what Biff wants that I wasn't sure about beforehand.
That counts.
If that mhm.
Yeah, take the XP.
Mhm.
And did you learn something significant about a fellow monster?
No, I don't think so.
We'll pull you guys together in the coming sessions. Did you uncover at least one key of the apocalypse or attempt to unlock Doom's door?
Yes.
All right. No need to mark ruin on that front then. That'll be it for this session of Empire City, Apocalypse Keys, Unsleeping Metropolis. Anyone who's been watching along, thanks for joining us, and hope to see you next time. Till then, stay safe.